That's my secret, Cap. I'm always prevailing. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. We're in the plan, which is my weekly show that talks about all the different things that are happening around the holotables, and it's fraught with peril today, folks. There is a lot that's going on. There's a ton, actually, and there's a lot to discuss. We didn't even really get an update other than them stealing the Treya Omicrons and refunding them as they had promised before, and that's fine. They did it. There weren't issues. Other than that, they announced a few things. They haven't really implemented them, and I don't know. There's a lot to discuss. Let's jump into mounting the algorithm, guys. One of the most enjoyable things you could possibly do. One of the coolest things, and I know cool things when I see them. I'm sure of it, guys. I am convinced that I do. And one of the coolest things ever is mounting yonder algorithm, folks. Please help, like, subscribe, and comment to mount that algorithm. I think that this is an unofficial number, but I think somewhere around 7 out of 7 doctors recommend mounting the Xerath Prevails algorithm, and they recommend that you do it often, like 7 out of 7 days. That's unofficial, of course, but that's like real, approximately pretty close to what it is. So I would highly recommend just not even questioning. Just go do it, guys. Don't question. Just push the button and move on. Thanks, guys. I do appreciate the support. So this is something cool. Before we get into the nonsense, before we get into the game being ruined, it's not actually ruined at all, but there are issues, of course. One of the things I wanted to point out is something cool that my alternate guild does, my alternate accounts guild, and they're a big-ish guild. They're in the top 50 in terms of guild size and everything. A bunch of people who want to do well at the game, but they're not all necessarily spenders. And one of the things that I like is whenever one of them does the web store, which the web store is something you can just log into. It's kind of an annoying process, but you log into it, you get your free package, and you get, like 50 crystals and 100 energy, and then some random shards that, maybe you've already farmed or maybe not, but, some extra materials, and you get it consistently every day. I think if you get it every day, your account gets, 1,500 total crystals in 1 month, which is not negligible, guys. It's a pretty decent amount. Think of if an entire guild could get 1,500 extra 1,500 extra guilds a day, 1,500 extra crystals per month. I mean, that's really going to benefit your guild. And so whenever they do it, they just say web store. And I don't know how many people use it. I just know that it's been very helpful to me, and being able to establish that kind of culture in your guild is really nice. Just like hey, you guys, like, you don't have to do it, but just a reminder for this thing, because I always forget. I'm pretty sure, as far as I know, I'm pretty good at forgetting things, and so I really need the help, and it's useful. And I just wanted to shout that out, because I don't know, it's been helpful, and I think other people might benefit from having that idea, being able to implement it. Another thing that's cool that happened to me, and if you watch this right away, when it's released, you'll be able to go in-game and check this out. I'm actually number 12 on the leaderboards right now, folks. Might not last for long, so I would go check it out. I probably won't last for long, but this is cool because, I mean, I've said it before. I know I'm not the very best player out there. Like, I'm good enough, right? Like, I have my strengths, of course. I'm not saying that I'm a terrible player. This isn't false modesty, but at the same time, I think an honest evaluation of my abilities says I'm not the best player out there. Obviously, like, that's super obvious, and if there's one person that's better than me, there are 10, there are 20, there's probably 50, there's probably 100 people out there that are more skilled than I am out there, maybe even more. You know, I'm not trying to say like, well, obviously there's not that many, but I know I'm not the very best, and so this is a pretty cool achievement. You know, I feel like maybe it's just RNG. I'm like, well, I got lucky a few times in a row, right where I needed to. I had a good season last season for 3v3. Maybe people didn't care as much, but one way or another, it is immensely difficult to get into this level, guys. Like, if you look at my compare, which I'm not going to show you guys right now, like the level of investment in the accounts that I'm facing is immense. It's crazy, actually. And the fact that I can, like, I just beat the number 4 largest roster in the game with, you know, just, you know, 1.5 million more GP than me. It's just a cool thing, guys. Just a cool thing, in my opinion. And I don't know. I just think it's wise of me right now to enjoy that while it lasts, because I'm probably going to be plummeting here pretty soon. But this is probably the best I'll ever get. But we'll keep swinging. Not gonna just give up. All right, I'm dead. Okay, so a video that I put out this out every month. I just, you know, the best offense teams, the best defense teams, just trying to show you guys the team comps and everything. And I don't know why I love this. A lot of people tell me that these videos are helpful. They get a lot of holds, but you know, this guy got a hold and won the match because of the video. And I don't know. You guys should all go check it out, except for if you're my opponents. Or maybe you should, because maybe I put that out there so my opponents place it, because I know how to beat it. Who knows? Games within games, folks. It's not really, but it is a game within a game, so I guess it is. In fact, all right. So now let's talk about darker matters, folks. First off, there is a Discord server out there, or was, I should say, called To Catch a Cheater. And the objective of that Discord server was, it was a Galaxy of Heroes server dedicated to discovering if people were cheating. People would say like, hey, look at this GAC history stuff. I think my opponent's cheating. What do you guys think? And, you know, people would look and they'd be like, nah, man, you're just crazy. That's just bruised pride. Go drink it all. Drink your fears, your cares, just go drinking, I guess, is the thing. Or you tell them like, yeah, that's actually legitimate. Like, let's try to get more evidence, and then we'll send it to CG. And CG does a pretty poor job of banning people, but this Discord server has actually had a fair amount of success in being able to identify and actually, you know, you can, at the very least, you can make these cheaters' lives more difficult by telling their guilds, and a lot of times their guilds will just be like, you know what? We don't necessarily love the idea of you being with us because you're cheating. Please leave right now, or I guess you don't have a choice because we can just boot you. So, you know, it's helpful for that. The problem is Discord. They got reported on Discord, and Discord just deleted it because it's these people are being harassed is the accusation. And you know, the story goes further. Actually, like the Discord server got destroyed. And Sig, the guy who also runs the events server, that's the one like the CG devs get on every once in a while to talk about Galaxy of Heroes stuff, he actually also got banned. And, so I don't, like, Sig is, you know, like, he's been a force for good in this community in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different directions. And so I think, you know, I don't, I also think that the people who are cheating should, I don't know, I don't want good things for them either, folks. Like, I think, I wouldn't say I want them to die in fire, but at the same time, like, am I going to say I don't want them to die? No, I mean, I don't wish death on people, of course I don't. I wish that they would be mildly inconvenienced for the rest of their life with a ton of different things that go wrong with them or something. I don't know. I'm not articulating it at all. I just like I hate cheating. I hate that. It's ridiculous. Losing to a cheater is the worst. And so I think the objective of the Discord server is laudable. I do also think that Discord, I have to a little bit side with Discord here, though. I don't want Sig to be banned. I don't want the Discord server to be banned. At the same time, I also think that this is kind of what we want Discord to do, right? Like, go in and destroy servers that are harassing people and really messing with people. Like, I think, and the problem is this isn't, like, the server has laudable goals. I think that there's a certain amount of trolling that can happen here in a lot of cases, and I think that Discord, you know, they don't care what happens in game. They just don't care if someone's cheating in Galaxy of Heroes. They care about if the people on Discord itself, if their customers are being harassed, if their life is being made worse. And so, I guess I don't know, you kind of want this to happen. It's just kind of an unfortunate thing. The story kind of gets a little crazier, though. So Sig, the guy who got banned, the guy who owns that server, or owned it, and has the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes event server as well. So the people, like, someone basically got reported, and they went in and they tried to dox him, and they posted a bunch of things, Nazi GIFs, on the site and reported it, and that's how they got banned. And so, I don't know, I guess stay tuned to see if that server is re-implemented in some way. The server is, I don't know, it's been fairly important for the community, in my opinion. So, shame to see it go. If you did get a message like that, you can always appeal their decision, folks. And there's a lot of people who have gotten behind that. I think it's fairly messed up that someone who's probably just a cheater himself did this. I don't know, it's a win for the cheaters. Not a great look for, I don't know, anyone, I guess. Alright, totally unrelated to that, the TIE Defender, after it was released, which it was, I should say, in fairness, well, one of the nice balancing factors, I should say, like, is the fact that you could, like, I got a 7-star TIE Defender unlocked already, and it only cost me, I don't know, an insignificant number of crystals. It was quite impressive. Like, you could spend like $20-some on refreshes and get a full 7-star TIE Defender. But that doesn't stop the fact that CG announced, and this is like the day after or the day of my release for the last plan video that I put out, where I was like, CG doesn't test anything. CG, like, they're messed up because of the Treya Omicron. Like, it was avoidable. CG, you could have solved this. You could have stopped being the knaves that you have been and actually, put an end to knavery. You guys can just test it. Like, the beta testing program that you guys scrapped would have caught this for the Treya Omicron, like, that it's killing Lord Vader. Of course they would have caught that. Like, I'm not really worthy to be on the beta testing program anyways, but even if I was, I would have caught that. Like, it's easy. It's super easy. And TIE Defender is another, like, oh guys, oh no, like, we didn't realize that the ship we just released would actually be really good against one of the meta fleets out there. Like, what are you testing it on? What are you testing it on, CG? I truly don't understand how you don't, like, are you just testing it against Finalizer? You're like, oh, it kind of looks like a Star Destroyer. I guess we'll just test it. That'll work against all the other Star Destroyers. Like, you're not testing the Treya Omicron. You're not testing the Zori Omicron. I think people are going to realize how ridiculously strong it is here pretty soon once it's more widespread in people having it. It is really strong. Zori's just a strong character in general, but that Omicron is really strong. And maybe they'll nerf that. I don't know. And they might not nerf this. They're just investigating it, but it was like the same day I was like, you guys need to test your stuff. And then they're like, hey, here's a new thing we didn't test. Another thing, though, folks, this is so demoralizing. The Reva Mission is like months ago. I had it in the plan, actually. I was telling you guys about this, and CG didn't know about it. Clearly, they don't watch my videos. Well, actually, there's proof that they do sometimes in just a minute here, but I was telling you guys, they discovered that, like, the community discovered that Jawa Scavenger, who is the one who distributes the grenades, the thermals to your Inquisition in the Reva Mission in Phase 3, that they've discovered, like we as in like collectively, I guess, because I didn't do anything for it, but they discovered that he's not tagged as a Jawa, and therefore he is not actually like placing nearly as many thermal detonators as should be placed on it. And so CG months later decided to come back, and they're like, hey, we got to fix this tagging issue. And then there's like this little update at the bottom. They're like, don't worry, guys. If you use the right strategy, you'll win. And it's like, well, who told you that? Like, I'm sure you guys tested that, right? Yeah, sure they did. Sure, I'm sure. Absolutely. So, there is someone who's able to kind of like create a test, I don't know, a test environment, I guess. And if you guys squint real hard, you can see how many thermals are on the Inquisition, and they're all just dying really bad. And I think that probably the answer is we'll just have to develop our strategies better, and we'll move on. Even though we're probably not going to end up with 50 out of 50 shards. Now, I will say that there's been a fair amount of hyperbole in the community about this event, and don't get me wrong, I hate that they decided to change it after letting it go for what, is this 4 attempts now? Like, we have like roughly 200-ish, some of the bigger guilds have about 200-ish Reva shards. It was going to be unlocked in the next 3 territory battles. I hate that they've let it go this long, and now they're going to just, pump the brakes. They're going to tell us like, no, hey, you can't actually have that nice thing that we were telling you could have. That's really frustrating. I will say, though, a lot of people are saying, oh, sure, CG waited until the whales got a bunch of shards, and now they're gonna make the mission impossible for the rest of us. And all I'm gonna say is, if they make it impossible for the rest of us, for everyone, then the whales who have 200 shards don't benefit from having 200 shards. It's all the same thing. It's a 330 shard unlock or nothing. They're the same level of progression. If it's an impossible mission, then the whales are in the same boat as everyone else. Alright, guys? They didn't just do it to spite people who aren't whales, who don't have big accounts. They didn't do it that way. They did it for other reasons, for incompetence reasons, for frustrating reasons. That people saying that it's just because the whales could benefit. It's crazy to me, a little bit crazy. Maybe I shouldn't complain about the complainers, but I just I don't know. It's like that makes no sense to me, I guess. Now, with all these changes, you guys can go hear us talk about this on the Crate Expectations from a couple days ago, and Sarah especially was fired up. She was pretty frustrated. Of course she was. I was frustrated too, and so we said some mean things about Meatface, and we said something like they're not communicating, they're not doing anything for the community. You guys should just go watch it. I'm not going to recap it here, frankly, but after the video, someone linked it on the event server that we've been talking about this whole time. Someone linked that to Sig. Wow, I said Sig, but I actually meant Meatface, and he watched the show. He watched me say that we should give him the idiot tag, and among other things. And what happened next will surprise you. I mean, it was surprising because I didn't expect him to have the savvy, frankly. My opinion of Meatface has always, publicly been, I'm a little disdainful, but he had the savvy to actually be cool about things, and he complimented my production quality on the Crate Expectation show, which, I mean, it's not great, so maybe he was just being tongue-in-cheek, I don't know. But after that, he just like talked to me about stuff it wasn't it was public, everyone could see what we were saying or whatever, but it surprised me because it's like, I don't know, what's the best way to get someone to stop criticizing you? Like, maybe make them help, if you can make them like you, then, I don't know, it it was a good, shrewd move, and eventually what happened was he offered to help me build a new computer. We were talking about pre-builds and how he'd offered his expertise, which apparently it's this big hobby of his. And I don't know, I guess I will say this. I've been frustrated with his communication with some of the things that he's done. I do think that now, I mean, he's just more likable to me. I don't know. I don't really know what to make of it, folks. It's a weird situation to be in, and you know, I do think that I've already said I was going to tone down my criticism of him, and then I think I mostly have, except barring that one video, so I guess that's probably not a great sign, but I don't know. I'm still trying to reconcile it. I just thought I'd point it out, folks. It was a shrewd move on his part, and I am now confused, which is a good move on him. Well played, Meatface. Well played. So, everything, guys, the game is dying. They're nerfing every single thing. They don't have people testing things. The cheaters are prospering. The thieves prosper. It's horrible, guys. And yet, and I'll probably put out like an actual my next planned video. I think I'm gonna look at the numbers, and we'll do another crawl into the statistics of if everyone's quitting the game or if people are joining. But Taliana, who's the person I get most of this information from, she's the one who's who helps me decode a lot of this stuff, because I'm not smart enough to figure that stuff out. But she's posted a couple months in a row now that we've had more people joining GAC than the previous month. So like it keeps it, and that the first time it's been stable for joining GAC for a while apparently. And so it's a good indicator. We have to wait until week 2, because week 1, like we're gonna look at the squish as well, and there's a lot of information to be had here. But one thing to I guess feel positive about is more people are joining GAC, which just kind of indicates that more people are playing the game. I think some people came back from the game after quitting for a while, taking a break, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, welcome everyone back, frankly. I hope everyone just sticks around forever, honestly, because this game is pretty cool, and maybe this game will keep going for another 7 to 14 to 30 years. Can you imagine it, guys? Can you imagine how many times, if you've played, I played this game for 6 years, it's 7 years old, I played it for 6, and I've done my dailies like 2,000 times, like, just in a row, just, how many things can you say you've done every single day of your life, or for, like a big time span? It's kind of crazy. I've done this more times than, like, my youngest son has been alive. It's crazy how that works. But anyways, folks, I'm gonna let you go here. I don't know. I'm frustrated with a lot of things going on in the game. They need to test things. They need to communicate better. They need to do all this stuff. And yet, I'm encouraged that people are playing the game still, and there's still fun kits being released, still fun things going on. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. Anyways, folks, let me know what your thoughts are on all of this, any or all of it. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xerath prevails.